Hi there, this is David and welcome to my review of Legion of Maelstrom for the PC. This is developer Andrew R's first game, and upon seeing the trailer and reading the scant reviews, I was stoked. I mean, I'm a sucker for an NES-inspired retro RPG that looks like it came straight out of the now-defunct Star Tropics universe. So I went into the game not knowing all that much about it, but obviously expecting it to be a Star Tropics clone. However, that's not at all what I got. This is not an action-adventure game. There are no random encounters. There's really no enemies to speak of, only bosses, and that's what the core of the gameplay is all about. The game opens on a dark and stormy night as an unusual storm approaches which destroys everything in its path, including your own home. Everybody knows that these storms are unnatural, but of course, they're all cowards, and it's up to you to find out exactly what's going on with the weather, who is creating the storms, and save your island home. However, a cool little twist is that there are already heroes roaming the land who should be doing this. However, they're bumbling idiots preoccupied with treasure hunting rather than actually helping to save the archipelago. So after you get out of your first town, you're going to be thrust into a dungeon, if you can even call it that. At this point, I was still expecting Star Tropics, but that's not what this game is about. Yeah, there's towns, there's shops, treasures, secrets, and some puzzles, but the main core of the game is fighting bosses, collecting treasure, grinding and leveling up, and honestly, it's kind of addicting. Remember Shadow of the Colossus? That's pretty much what you're going to be getting here, but just in turn-based JRPG form. So here's how it works. There are 5 classes, each of them with their own weaponry, fighting style, base stats, and abilities. And there's also a set amount of bosses as well, 13 to be exact. And each boss allows you to level up each class twice. Then you'll receive a piece of loot. So those of you who hate grinding, steer clear. But to the rest of you, you're in for a treat. Let me explain to you how all of this works. Each class levels up separately from one another, so you could have like a level 1 citizen, a level 5 priest, and a level 10 soldier, for example. However, every time you level up a class, a universal stat increase will be given to all of the classes. And in addition to this, once you reach certain thresholds, abilities will get passed over to all classes too, such as the priest's healing skill getting passed to all classes at level 5. This allows for some solid strategy in the boss fights. But this also brings me to some complaints, because as you get further and further into the game, the bosses get harder and harder, of course. So, what you have to do is end up going back to the beginning, change your classes, and then refight every single boss with all 5 classes twice. So, to make things simple, you pretty much have to fight every single boss 10 times before you can move on. This can be a boon or a bust, depending on your outlook. Personally, I steamrolled through the beginning of the game with the soldier and priest combination, then I went back and I leveled up the other classes once I got the boot. And because I was far along, it really didn't take all that long to beat the earlier bosses. Combat is a relatively simple turn-based affair where you have 4 choices: attacking, using items, utilizing your class skills, or focusing to increase up your MP and your defense. The battles can be a bit on the long side though, as the Archfiends have a lot of HP, and they're not afraid to heal themselves, defend, buff, or pull other nasty tricks on you. So, you need to be prepared to use a bit of strategy in order to defeat them, especially in the first encounter. However, the subsequent fights after you've leveled up a bit do go by much faster. Though by the time that I was going around fighting 4 bosses 40 times with each class, I was just kind of mashing the A button with one hand and scrolling through Facebook on my phone with the other, until it was just defeated. Bosses will not give you any money whatsoever, so, of course, money management plays a huge role here. The only way to get more money is to sell shells on the beach, do trading side quests, or sell the boss's loot. And because respawning bosses to grind costs money, as do the healing potions that you need to survive, not to mention the equipment, you're constantly scrambling for cash. I really actually liked this aspect of the game because it made me think about what I needed to purchase, rather than just grinding around buying the best stuff at a shop as soon as possible. With all that being said though, I do have some constructive criticism, because there are some quality of life improvements that are needed here. Because you have to fight the bosses with 5 different classes, that means that you're going to be walking back to town, then back to the boss 5 times for every single boss. You see, you can't just change your classes in the menu, you have to do it at a clothesline in town. And this does seem kind of cute at first, but it gets old quick. It would be so much nicer if you could just change it in the menu. And that brings me to my second complaint. Whenever you do change the classes, the equipment isn't automatically disequipped. The equipment actually stays on the original class. So, if you have really nice accessories like on your ninja, but then you class change to a wizard, you won't be able to equip the accessories on the wizard until you go back and unequip them off the ninja. This is a minor complaint, but it does seem like an easy fix. Another nice thing would be to have an HP meter for the bosses, because I would like to see how close I am to beating them so I could plan out my strategy better. And also, because of all the backtracking that you have to do between the towns and the dungeons for this kind of mandatory grind, I do wish that the walking speed was faster, like twice as fast. Now, while I went into this thinking that I was getting Star Tropics, I got something else. I got a pretty cool gem that just needs a little bit of polishing with some updates. Once you leave the first island, you're going to be getting a ship, and then it all becomes open world and a blast to explore. All in all, I would recommend this game. You just need to know what you're getting into beforehand. Have you played this game? Let me know what you think of it in the comments. And if you like this video and what I do here on the channel, please consider coming to chat and hang out on the Discord channel, or following me on over to Twitch for some streaming fun. The link to them can be found in the video description. This has been David. If you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.